Hi guys, it's April, and I want to talk spooky. That was the lamest entry ever, but we're gonna go with it. So recently, maybe in March, I believe, in my wrap-up, I talked about a free book that I read called The Spookshow by Tim McGregor. Tim McGregor contacted me and is like, hey, you like to read? Would you like to read more? And I'm like, heck yes! I'm not gonna turn down A, free books, B, creepy books, and C, I don't have a C, but I wanted to round that out, but I didn't round that out very well. With that in mind, I was given the opportunity to read the next two in the Spookshow series, Welcome to the Spookshow, and Spookshow 3, The Woman in the Wall. And so I wanted to talk to you about those 3 books as a series. In the standard review discussion fashion, I'm going to first give you a unspoilery review overview of the series, and then I'm going to go a little deeper and tell you some of my thoughts and feelings about the whole thing. The Spookshow series, it revolves around a woman called Billy Culpepper, whose real name is Sybil, which makes sense when you get into the series, and her ability to suddenly see the dead and the random mysteries she gets to fall into because of this ability. She's got a couple friends throughout the series that just rounds everything out. She's got her best friend Jen, Tammy, Caitlin, and then you get to meet this detective Ray Mockler, who, you know, usually helps instigate trouble when trying to solve mysteries, especially when it involves dead people. Simple as that. So Spookshow, the initial first book in the series, I believe I gave it a 3-star rating because it drops you in the middle of the story and there's hints at all this backstory and you can't figure out, and it drives you nuts. And but basically the first book, the 4 girls end up going to the murder house, and the standard horror movie show plotline thing happens, but interspliced through all of that, you've got tidbits of there's some kind of backstory. There's some kind of you have no idea what it is, and it drives you nuts, which is why I initially gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. But then you jump into Welcome to the Spookshow, and you start to get the backstory of how Billy somehow ended up with this ability to see the dead, and how she met the detective, and how all of that flowed out. And then in The Woman in the Wall, you get how Caitlin, got obsessed with all of this ghost stuff. And the series just gets so much better, and I'm so glad I got the opportunity to read it, even though I'm so glad I got the opportunity to continue reading it, because I finally understand why things were set up in the order they were, because technically book 2 is the beginning, book 3 is the second book, and book 1 actually happens after book 3. So you get all of the backstory. Reading it like that, you're starting to put the pieces together, and you're having these aha moments. I actually enjoyed doing that. It's probably not for everybody. It probably drives some people nuts, like it drove me nuts when I only read the first book. So I say, if you're gonna read the series, read it all, and it will make so much more sense. But the creep in the whole series is great. The visuals and the grossness and all of that, I loved it. I ended up giving them 3, 4, 4 consecutively. But I really, really, really enjoyed it. I don't know what to say to you guys. It reminds me of a mix between The Ghost Whisperer, Sixth Sense, and Odd Thomas, like all rolled up into one. Writing style isn't overly flowery. It leaves you to imagine things in your head, which can lead you to trouble if you're reading this in the dark. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So if you like creepy, if you like to just pick up something that is eerie and you want to just mess with your brain a little bit, read this series. Okay, so now more in depth of the series. Guys, I absolutely love the ghost boy, or no, the half ghost boy thing that lives with her. It's kind of like a cat. There's something about, I want to know more about who he is and why, and that character, I'm really articulate in these reviews. But I like how he was written in and how he seems to be protective of Billy, and you don't know why. There's something there and I need to know. And then, believe what, Gantry? I don't know what to think of him yet. Really, really don't. Part of me wants to vastly hate him. Not sure why, just gut instinct. Another part of me wants to laugh hysterically at him because he is kind of a Jack Harkness character before he mellowed out, and there's something in that I like, but I think it would be interesting to see how all of that, kind of develops. And I'll be honest with you, the fact that most of the ghosts that she sees are oozing or missing body parts and all that kind of stuff, yeah, about that. But I do like the mystery style kind of thing that's going on with this whole series, and I can't wait. I just can't wait. And Billy is an interesting character. Sometimes I want to just smack her. Other times I'm like, yeah, I totally react that way. But sometimes she's just a little too mopey for me. A little too mopey. But I guess that's what happens when you're suddenly thrown into a world with depressing dead people. I wouldn't know. Hasn't happened to me yet. So overall, this series is really good. I can't wait to read more of it. I believe there's 2 more in the series, if not possibly more in the future if the muses decide to go that way. Tim McGregor, you were awesome. Thank you for letting me read this. And I can't wait to see what happens. This whole series, I give a solid 4 out of 5 stars. So, go creep yourselves. I heart your beautiful faces. Bye! Yips! My bad. You guys gonna get a good look of my shirt? Cause it's awesome. Okay, the Spookshow,